Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. We're only a little over a week away from GWC qualifiers beginning, and I figured since I usually get a lot of questions, specifically whenever I stream on Twitch about why I use certain players over other ones or why I'm using certain abilities over other ones, it'd be a good idea to just put out a general team building strategy and AP strategy that I'm using heading into GWC. It's pretty obvious if you've watched me play the last few years or follow me on Twitter or on here. I always emphasize size over speed. I think that once you get up to like 92, 93 speed in Excel, there isn't that much of a difference between that and 99 speed, especially whenever you have a taller player's reach factored in, right? But if you're using a player that's 6 foot tall compared to a player that's 6'4", there's a pretty sizable gap in effectiveness. The taller player will have an added benefit to balance in the game, also an increase to their checking ability. So the taller players, I found for me at least, not saying everybody has to use them. I know there's a lot of good players that use smaller players, but for me, it works a lot better. So looking at my top two lines on forwards, we can see here, I don't have a forward that's under 6'4". I have the new Line A and Nash that came out recently, and then I have the new Team Builder Primo, which I think, in my opinion, is the best forward in the game. He has 99 faceoffs, high 90s skating, pretty much maxed out attributes almost everywhere, and he's 6'5". On my second line, one thing I think that does stand out is I have three wingers on this line. Pierre Engvall only has like 85 faceoffs. So the one thing I struggled with was I had a lot of good left-handed wingers, and I didn't think there was a lot of good centers in the game available. So my strategy going into this is to not use my second line off of a faceoff, just to always have them come on the ice on the fly. I'm going to see how it works. If not, if I feel like it's not worth it using this, I might switch that up heading into there, but that's what I'm going to use right now. And then my third line, once again, size on the wings, 6'3" and 6'3" in Ovechkin and Matthews. And then Jared McCann's probably my smallest forward that I'm using right now at 6'1". I've struggled selling him because I feel like there's not a lot of good centers in the game that are an upgrade over him. There's like Barkov that's available, but he's really slow. There's Olli Jokinen that's a 94. He is really good, has gold quick draw as well, but he's only an inch taller, and there's a lot of attributes that aren't as good as McCann. So McCann just came back from IR, most likely getting another goal. He's been scoring like crazy in the NHL. So assuming he's going to be 99 this week, I'm interested to see what added abilities he gets. He has a chance, I guess, to move up to my second line, but he'll probably be on my third line. And then my fourth line, I have Trevor Linden with Silver Quick Draw. I wanted somebody I could trust on the PK or maybe in a big game situation to win a face-off. Depending on how this goes the next week, there is the chance I take off Silver Quick Draw and just activate Gold Quick Draw on McCann and have him out there instead. I'm going to see what kind of success I have with it, but there's always the possibility of that change. And then Gordie Howe is somebody that won't be on my team for GWC qualifiers. Smaller player, not that fast, so I kind of just had him to test out silver close quarters. So I think I'm going to remove him at some point, sell him, see what kind of replacement I can get. But fourth line doesn't matter that much. They're out on the ice for 5 minutes a game, maybe. So there's the change there. Going on to defense, I think a lot of people have the same, left-handed defenseman at this point. Hedman and Coburn are a must. But the only difference is between, I think, my team and a lot of others is I have Hedman on the left side. The main idea behind that is I didn't want him buried on the third pair, right? So Coburn's the clear best left-handed defenseman. Hedman's probably the second, but I have Werenski on my second pair who has gold 1T. And I'll get into some of the abilities in a little bit more, but I wanted to use Werenski for sure. Didn't want him on the third pairing either, so might as well use Hedman on the first pair. D to Ds with right-handed shots never go in this game. If they do, it's like a 1% chance. So there's no need to have the right-handed defenseman on the left side for that option. But it is good to have them out there for breakouts, right? Sometimes it's good passing out with a right-handed shot instead of a left-handed shot, depending on where you are. So I do have Burns on my second pairing. And then my third pairing, probably going to get rid of Devin Taves at some point. The third pairing's on the ice less than the fourth line is for forwards. And I'll probably sell Taves and just replace him with like a 92 or 93 taller player. And then Adam Fox, I was an idiot earlier in the year and wanted to make another Team of the Year player. So I have him on my third pair. He's out there sometimes. He's not that great. He's not that bad. But sometimes it's nice to have just a fresh pair of legs on the ice. That he's probably my fastest defenseman at 96 excel, 94 speed, maybe besides Coburn. So he's not awful to use. But I try to just to have my third pair out there as little as possible. And then finally, who I think is the best goalie in the game in Pekka Rinne. He has gold light work. Probably going to stick with him, barring some crazy circumstances. I've had the most success with him. And in general, I don't give up a lot of cross-crease attempts. So there wasn't a point in getting a goalie with gold post-to-post. Gold light work costs less. He makes a ton of saves. So I feel pretty comfortable in who my goalie is going into the qualifiers. Ability points are pretty much the biggest way that you can use to differentiate your team from others in HUT. But with that being said, I don't think there's like a clear-cut be-all, end-all. These are the best abilities in the game, but it's what I've found works for me. So starting out from 0 points, I think light work's a must for me. As I mentioned, I don't give up a lot of cross-crease attempts. I like to push my opponents to the perimeter or like high slot, and light work activates on all those wrist shot attempts, right? So as long as I don't give up the shots in tight on the cross-crease attempts, Rinne should make most of the saves that go up against him. After that, I don't use any defensive abilities right now, and I don't think that'll change. I mentioned this a bunch. I think defense is easier this year than any other year to play, so you don't really get that much of a bonus using like shutdown or stick 'em up or even truculence, even though I think that's probably the best one out of those three. So without using defensive abilities, I still use abilities on my defensemen. I had a video earlier in the year going over the combination of 1T and Seeing Eye. So going back to how my team was built, I have those two left-handed shots on the first and second D pair for this ability itself, right? I made Werenski because I wanted 1T and Seeing Eye on him. So I activate both of those on my top two defensemen on the right side. And that's 20 points to use just on two players right there. But thinking about it, they are on the ice probably a combined 55 minutes a game. So no matter which forward line I have on the ice, I always have that really good point shot option for the one-timers for literally most of the game, right? So after that, I think having a good centerman is pretty important for those like maybe 2 to 3 times you're going to need it throughout a game. And this is where I was kind of going back and forth on between gold quick draw and silver quick draw. I needed the points, so I only activate silver quick draw right now on Linden. He's on my PK. He's on my fourth line, but if there's an important face-off, I put him out there. And then I have 16 points left over after this. Recently, I've been using gold close quarters a lot. And that's actually the reason I made Rick Nash. Nash has close quarters and Primo has close quarters, the gold version. And this ability is one thing that you can use to guarantee some of your in-close chances, right? I think this game is pretty random this year. You have to excuse my dog. I guess she's ripping up this old chair I have in my room. And we do this in one take. So, gold close quarters, some of those cross-crease attempts that you have that are saved by post-to-post, this seems to negate that, right? You have the increased shooting power and accuracy on these wrist shots in close to the net, and this seems to help negate just all the randomness in the game. This is probably the two abilities on Primo and Nash that I'm the most hesitant about. I think I'll be running this going to the GWC, but the off chance I don't, I do have 16 points left over to use elsewhere. But this is kind of my strategy going into the qualifiers. Let me know what you think. I think myself that if I wasn't confident in defense like I am, right, maybe I'm like a tier Division 1, Division 2 player, kind of in the middle. I probably wouldn't use close quarters. I would use truculence on a lot of my players instead. Or I would use quick draw on a couple extra players, and I wouldn't use close quarters. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and good luck in the qualifiers.